Boxing, you got to go out there and really back it up. You got to go out there.
Have you ever watched any of the older fighters fight, like in the 30s or 40s or 50s?
Not that far back. I watched.
You watched Sugar Ray Robinson fight?
I have watched Sugar Ray Robinson.
Isn't he amazing?
It's crazy.
Let me talk to you about great fighters. Listen, right?
Give it to him, Mike. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Hotboxin. I'm Evan Britton.
And I'm Mike Tyson.
Mike, we got a fucking young phenom in here
I know
today,
everybody's
dude.
telling so much.
D-Lil, dude.
I know he's Dollar Dizzy. Fuck that, it's Dollar Dame, man.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Fucking
There
Dollar.
you go, Damien Lillard. Welcome, brother.
Appreciate
Listen,
y'all
right,
having me, man.
You gonna spit for us before this is over.
Spit for you before it's over?
Yeah.
Dang, y'all gonna put me on the spot like that?
Maybe.
That's what you do. That's what you do. What you wear.
I'm gonna try to have something ready for y'all before it's
Okay.
over.
You do the top of the dome, man.
Maybe it'll marinate.
All the greats go. Listen.
I ain't saying I'm a great though. When it comes to the music, I can't say I'm a great, man. I can't do that.
Just striving.
Yeah.
Striving.
Mike, you look like fucking Shaft today, dog.
I feel like
You look
Shaq
good.
today.
Yeah, you got that energy, bro. Well, Damien, man, it's great to have you here. So, what are you doing in town?
We play the Lakers tomorrow.
Okay.
So, usually when we got a road game, we travel the day before to give ourselves a chance.
This is my wife and
get
her
used to it.
girlfriend. They're troublemakers. Fucking trouble.
Fucking troublemakers,
Big
dude.
time.
Yeah, we traveled the day before and we play the Lakers tomorrow.
Just got in today.
Yeah, I literally just landed and came straight here.
Wow. It's a little different because in the NFL, there's no way I could have done that. Because I
Done
played in the
what?
They
NFL.
went. It's like you got to go to the hotel,
Yeah,
lockdown,
we're
all
on
that.
lockdown.
I mean, y'all got a lot more people to keep track
Yeah,
of. We
that's
15
true.
players on the roster, so
That's true. Well, really tough week for basketball.
yeah.
I mean, this city lost one of its legends, one of its favorite people, Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
I mean, I was deeply affected by it, as were millions of people. How has it hit you, brother?
I mean, it hit hard. I think I'm from California, so growing up in Oakland, Golden State, they never made the playoffs. So when the playoffs came around, I transformed into a Lakers fan. And Kobe and Shaq and Robert Horry, all those dudes, you know, when they went on that run, you know, I was a half Warrior, half Laker fan. So growing up, making it to the NBA, and I grew up idolizing Kobe, and I was a fan of Kobe. And then make it to the NBA and become a peer of his. And, you know, I played my first NBA game against Kobe. And then my first All-Star game, I sat on the bench with him the whole time and became friends with Kobe. So I think all of those things, being in touch with him and from so many different lenses, it's sad. You know, I don't really know what else to say about it. It's so disturbing and so shocking.
Yeah.
That you just really don't know what to think of it.
Yeah.
And, you know, tomorrow is definitely going to be a tough day for the basketball community and everybody who came in contact with him.
Yeah. I mean, he just meant so much.
Yeah.
It was crazy, man, because, like, I grew up watching basketball because my dad was a basketball player. He played D1 at Jacksonville University in Florida. So I always watched basketball. Grew up in LA for the most part. So obviously Kobe was always a fixture, but to me, he was like the definition of a leader as an athlete. You know?
And he wanted to take that role, too.
Yeah,
He wanted to take that role as a leader.
yeah. So, you know, that for me, it was like just thinking about the whole thing. It was crazy, you know, to have a guy like that here one day, gone the next.
But, we're just mourning right now because that's the natural thing to do. But the reality, we're all going down that path in life, that we're all going to face that journey.
Yeah.
It's just what we do here and what we leave behind our journey is really what counts. And it's not really what I'm talking about, having fame and fortune and stuff. You know, Kobe's different. He's an international star. But just leaving here knowing that you were kind to people. And people could say he was a kind person. He was a good person. and you gave them the best you had. You gave life the best you had.
Yeah.
You didn't leave anything. You left it all on. You left it all on the concrete. You know. You didn't hold anything back.
100%.
You know, life is just preparing you for death. That's what life is. It's pretty much a blueprint to death.
Yeah. I know we talk about that a lot. You know, and also to me, it's, you know, when a guy like Kobe goes in that type of situation, it's a wake up call to everybody. You know, like you got to live this. You get one shot here, man, in life.
Exactly. I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead, say.
And you got to live this life to the greatest extent that you possibly can. It's our duty as the living to carry the burden of living.
That's what we have to figure. How do you live your life the best possible way?
Yeah.
It appeared, we don't know him personal like that. We weren't there, but it appeared that he was living his life the perfect way. And if that appeared, it had the appearance it was.
Right.
And, you know, and this tells us that life is very short, but even more so than that, it's very unpredictable.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Very unpredictable. And I think from something like this, we just all learn, even though if we not even intend to learn, this is because we're all different after. Now, I'm a different person now since that happened.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what happened, but I'm different. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
I know exactly what you
I'm
mean.
different, but I don't even know how I'm different, but I'm different now that happened.
Yeah.
You know? I like to believe I have more gratitude, and I'm grateful for my existence and the air that I breathe, and for my family. And sometimes I think, you know, I get cocky sometimes and think I can get a lot of people, a lot of brothers, and I just need to have more gratitude.
Mm. Yeah, always, man. For me.
I forget about gratitude sometimes.
Yeah. Constant reminder. Be just grateful.
Yeah.
To see another day.
Absolutely.
You know.
Just breathe this air in your lungs. You don't
it's
know
a
how
blessing
precious
in
life
itself.
is.
Yeah. Well, rest in peace to Kobe and Gigi and all the families involved. You know, it's just absolutely heartbreaking. You know, everyone's with you guys. You know, and our thoughts and prayers out to everyone. So, but Dame, you're a huge fighting fan too on the side.
Love it.
How did you start? When did you start doing this stuff?
When I want to say when I was about 8 or 9, my family used to have big fight parties. It was Yo fights, all the way to like Oscar De La Hoya fights, and then Floyd fights. It was always like the big pay-per-view fights. And then when I got to like high school, I just started to learn more about all the fighters, you know, the guys that weren't prize fighters and big name fighters. And then I got interested in like people's stories and watching who was calling out who, and watching people train, and watching press conferences, and who was gonna back up what they said they was gonna do, and who was able to stay focused, and who wanted to fight the best. I just kind of got attached to that.
To the psychology.
Yeah, in fighting, I think is different because it's like it's one-on-one.
Yeah.
In basketball, I could get into it with somebody, and my team is gonna play their team, and it's gonna be a matchup like within the team. But in combat sports, it's like we gotta fight each other.
Yeah.
Like that's different than anything. So I've always been like really interested, and I really respect the fact that like the confidence and just the way fighters speak, and what they got to go through to train and get ready for a fight and get in the ring and fight in front of millions of people. Like you can get knocked out and hurt in front of like your family and your kids, and I've always just had a lot of love and respect for that. So as I've gotten older, I just watch it harder and harder and harder, and I pretty much, I mean, it's hundreds of fighters that I've typed their name in on YouTube and watch them train and watch the interviews.
Who's some of the guys you watch train?
Recently, I watched a lot of Andy Ruiz, just because I was familiar with him before the first Joshua fight, because I came across some of his fights before just watching random fights on TV. And then I started to watch him train. I watched Andy Ruiz. I watched, like I said earlier, the Charlos. A lot of the younger fighters, I like to follow them and just see how they train and if they like able to be consistent and if they keep that same passion. Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Shakur Stevenson.
Shakur's really good, huh?
Yeah. Just a lot of dudes like that. I mean, the top fighters, I make sure I catch all their stuff. Willie Monroe, Wilder. I think Wilder is like really interesting because like from the first time I ever saw him fight, like he's like the one that I can see the most like
Growth?
improvement in. Yeah.
Interesting.
He did improve a lot.
Yeah, so like Wilder, Big Baby Miller, Anthony Yard. It's like just Regis Prograis. I mean,
You're a fucking student, dude.
No, I really watch
Yeah.
every single day.
Is there, do you feel like there are things that you learn about the psychology of fighters or strategies or whatever it might be that you apply in your basketball game?
I wouldn't say things that I apply because I just think fighting is just so different.
Yeah,
like as far
absolutely.
as like what you have to prepare to go into. Like I said earlier, I'm not
Yeah,
going
it's
into
true.
my games preparing to get punched
For
in
war.
the face, like
Yeah.
for a real war.
Yeah.
Boxing, you got to go out there and really back it up. And you
Yeah.
got to go out there.
Have
And,
you ever watched any of the older fighters fight, like in the 30s or 40s or 50s?
not that far back. I
Have
watched.
you ever watched Sugar Ray Robinson fight?
I have watched Sugar Ray
Isn't
Robinson.
he amazing?
It's
Listen,
crazy.
Let me talk to you about great fighters. Listen, right?
Give it to him, Mike.
So
Break it down.
Sugar Ray Robinson had 40 fights, right? 40-0. And then he lost one fight, right? And after he lost that one fight, he went 80 fights undefeated. You know, so he was like 100. So the record was like 174-1.
Right. That's crazy.
And around, 85 knockouts,
Yeah.
you know?
Insane.
Listen, you get a guy like Henry Armstrong, right? He defended his welterweight title 20 times in 2 years. 5 times in 1 month.
That's crazy.
More than a fight a week.
It's a monk. He's a monk. There's some monks that in the past, you know, they put people like me in check. They put our egos in check. When you I talk that shit, the baddest man on the planet, the greatest fighter God created, and then I look in the history books and I think, oh fuck, I'm just talking, nigga.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I watched it wasn't even that long ago, like a month ago, I watched, I think it was Jack Johnson. They got a 45-minute long video on YouTube.
Yeah.
Documentary where he got a fight. He fighting outside, and it's like 35 or 45 rounds or something.
Yeah, 45 rounds.
And he beat up the dude for like 25 rounds, and it's hot outside, and he ended up losing. But it's like, that's like them type conditions and what
Yeah,
it was
it's
for them
insane.
back then is similar to what you saying with how like what they did compared to what fighters do now. And it's
Listen.
like you respect it on a different level.
Listen, I don't put myself in the league of Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson's fighting in the ring, and there's 75,000 people saying, I'm going to kill your nigga if you hurt him. I'm going to kill your wife. I'm going to hang a fucker. We're going to tar and feather the bitch because she's white. You know, this is what they're saying. This is what they're saying in the
While
in the
he's
audience.
trying
While
to
he's
fight.
fighting, and know what he's doing? Oh, and he's
Just
beating the guy.
beating
Boom,
the
boom,
shit out
boom.
of the
Oh,
guy.
he's so beautiful. I'm gonna send him to you real nice. Boom, boom. And he's talking to the guy's wife. How you doing, Miss Jeffries? Hey, John L. Sullivan, Mr. Sullivan. How you doing, sir? And then boom, boom, boom. Beat the guy that. And watch when you see. If you ever watch him fight, you look. He's looking at the crowd. He's always smiling because they're cursing at him like a dog. You
Wow.
fucking nigga, you're gonna get lynched.
It's crazy.
Unbelievable, man.
Beautiful though, beautiful, beautiful. You have to see his documentary, man. You might cry. He's such a tough guy. That's where Ali got his courage from.
Really?
He watched Jack Johnson documentary. He said, "I'm nothing compared to Jack Johnson." Jack Johnson, listen. In 1908, you got lynched for looking at white women, reckless eyeballing. He married 3 of them.
Wow. Good for him, dude.
And he was cheating on one of them so much, and she committed suicide. He drove her crazy.
man.
Then he got arrested for pimping, the pimping charge, the Mann
Christ.
Act.
When was this?
This is in it was They put it on him, I think, in 1909, something
Wow.
like that. And then he skipped the country, left the country.
Where'd he go?
Fought in Europe for a while.
Oh, okay.
And then he lost the title to Jess Willard in Cuba. Then he made a deal with the government and came back and did a year and a month
Wow.
in Leavenworth Penitentiary.
Wow. Dame, have you heard of Tom Molyneux?
I haven't.